Hello, we're back again with another video, and today we are doing the anticipated, most talked about series that's coming to this channel. Only joking, but we will be starting the in-depth reviews of A Court of Thorn and Roses today. We'll talk about the whole series, but obviously we're starting with the first book straight off the bat. Let's talk about ACOTAR. In my original video that I made, I gave this 4.5 stars and I gave it a 9 out of 10. However, I've told you on this channel that I like to review the books a few days after I've made my initial review, just to see what's changed, but also to kind of have a bit of a better perspective about it. So upon reflection, I would say that this book is actually a 3.5 stars and is around an 8 out of 10. This is still great. It's still a good book. I just think in the grand scheme of things, compared to the other books of what's going on in the plot, it is slightly lower. So 3.5 stars is still a very high rating. It's definitely above average, better than most books, which would be 3 stars, but it's not quite taking it into the next level. All in all, this book had a little bit of spice, but it wasn't that spicy. I gave it a 2.5. I'm thinking it could even be a little bit less than that. For the most part, it is spicy, but it's not that spicy, especially compared to the other books. If asked would I recommend this book, obviously I said yes. Same as the video before. People who would like to try fantasy or love fantasy, adventure, romance, all those kinds of genres, I'm sure that you would definitely enjoy this series. I just want to say that from now on, I cannot be held accountable for any spoilers because you have been warned. This section ahead will contain spoilers where I will talk about the more in-depth plot of this book. So if you have not read this book and you don't want it to be spoiled for you, stop watching now, go read the book and come back and watch this video. If you have read it, or you were one of those people who just paused the video and has come back now you've read it, welcome back. Let's talk about this book. I'd love to know what you think, so let me know down in the comments below what you gave this book on your rating scale. Some people do it differently. How many stars did you give it? Let me know. I'm excited to hear it. As always, I will say that before reading any book, you should always check the trigger warnings, but I will reiterate, especially with this series, it's important to check the trigger warnings before. Please, please, please. I won't give you anything else until you've checked them. Let's actually start this video, huh? I only dropped it another mark because there were a few things I didn't like, and also compared to the other books, again, it wasn't the best. But I say this all the time, the first book is always the book you usually have to get through because it has so much set up, and it's normally not the best book of the series, but it's still important. And the pacing was great, everything was great in this book, but it's just in the grand scheme of things, the things that happen in the later books are so much better and you have so much more of a connection with the characters, so there's a lot more of a deep-rooted emotional level there too. So I did say in my video that I was team Tam, but I was very likely to eat my words, and boy have I eaten my words. Definitely not team Tam anymore, but if you haven't read the other books, I'll let you figure out why. Don't worry, I won't be spoiling those today. I definitely loved all the court systems, and I think the spring courts are really cool. I like the concept of it, I like the idea of it. I will just say though, when I say I was team Tam, and I will talk about this more in the next video, I do think that Tamlin's character in the first book is a different character to the one in the second book, and I think there's a lot more we can unpack in that video, so come back for that one. But I will just say that I do still appreciate his character in the first one. I feel like he provided for her family, and he did try to send her away to save her, but ultimately he sat in his chair and did nothing. So you know what I mean. You know what I mean. On the whole, I thought the trials were a cool idea. I kind of guessed the plot. I guessed that she was going to get the riddle right at the end. Did you get that? And the whole thing about the bargain not being clear and talking about when you make a bargain, you have to word it correctly. Felt like that all came together, but I still really liked it. It didn't disappoint me that I kind of had seen where it was going because it still had so many twists and turns and shocks anyway, so it was super fun and engaging in that way. Expanding a little bit more on the things I didn't didn't like as much. So the whole thing I found the hardest in the book, and which I have mentioned before, is the fact that it sort of goes 0 to 100 out of nowhere. And I find that kind of difficult because there was so much setup and so much build up, and I was really enjoying it. I was like, yes, give me the descriptions, give me everything. And then I kind of felt like all of a sudden it's be gone, and then everyone's under the mounting and needs saving. There was no in between. I feel like the whole bit about him sending her away, then she doesn't say she loves him, and then that's it, that was the last day, and now they all belong to Amaranth. I don't know, I felt like it was, I know this sounds silly because obviously it's the plot of the story, but I felt like it was a convenient plot, and I really don't like it when it seems that convenient, when you almost feel like it's been pieced together in that way. I feel like it needed to have a little extra something. It didn't have to be the day before. I don't know, I guess he was giving her as much time, but I just didn't like some aspects of that. I felt like some parts of the plot were a little bit rushed in a way. They weren't as finessed as some other parts. And I think maybe I'm also speaking harsh on this book because I've read the other books and seen how well she does in the other books. I just feel like this one, it could have done a little bit more tweaking here and there. I do feel like it was very bish bash bosh. She goes away, then she realizes she loves him, and she hasn't said she loves him, so she goes back to save him, and then all of a sudden she's getting dragged to the mountain. It's a whole situation, and it was quite overwhelming at the time. It was quite, woo, what's going on? I feel like it had the desired effect of the action, but I feel like it could have been more satisfying if we just had a few little bits extra here and there. As I explained in my video before, I feel like that's the quote of the day today. I just feel like there could have been 50 pages, maybe more overall. Just little pages here and there that gave a little extra detail or a bit of a hint or something to suggest that we were heading towards this plot, and then it wouldn't have seemed like such a stark contrast, because honestly the second half, maybe even the last third, I would say, of the book almost felt like a completely different book to the first one, and I feel like it just needed a little bit more seamless transition. That might just be my opinion. I'm a humble gal that reads books and just has thoughts on them, so let me know if you agree, let me know if you disagree. You know, it's okay, we don't have to have the same opinions on books, it's fine. But let me know, did you feel this, or maybe I missed some things? You could point them out to me too. I mean, when you're swept up in the whirlwind, it can be easy to miss the subtleties of the books, and I definitely would love to do a second read coming up to when the next book comes out. I would definitely like to do another reread then, so maybe I'll pick them up. Who knows, who knows? I said before, I feel like a bit more romance was needed, and whilst I still do agree with this, I kind of see now in the whole grand scheme of the whole plot why there wasn't as much romance. I don't know, it could have done with a little bit more, in my opinion. Just a titch, a bit more development of the characters themselves, how they feel and what they feel about each other. Let's talk about Reese. First of all, I don't understand the pronunciation, so I've looked it up, and apparently it's Rhysand, but I've been saying Rhysand in my head the whole time, and I think that sounds better. And when it's shortened to R-H-Y-S, I would say that's Reese anyway. So I'm going with Rhysand, but what do you think? I think it is supposed to be the other way, right? I'm pretty sure that Sarah J Maas said it's supposed to be like that. I just can't bring myself, because that feels like cringy, like hard to say. It feels like forced, cheesy. I don't know. I feel like Rhysand flows nice. It has that kind of, what do you think? Let me know. I feel like she did his character really well. In the first book, he kind of came across as he was supposed to be altruistic. You never really knew what his motives were. And also he has that kind of like slippery feel to him. And I feel like I can go back and appreciate that now. I really think that she wrote that character well, because you get a certain feeling towards him. You're kind of angst at him, but he's also kind of helping Feyre. So it's like a whole situation. It's cool to see his character come into the story more. And those of you that are going to start reading the next book, I'm excited for you. Come back for the next video, we can talk even more about this, but you've got a whole world to unpack, and I'm very much excited for you. Character opinions, we're gonna go straight to the point with this because I've been waffling on for a long time already. I was frustrated, but I felt sorry for the father. He's very weak. Elaine, I kind of feel the same. She's kind of weak, a little bit babied. Nesta, sorry, just screams bitch. So that's definitely my opinion of her. Lucian, I feel is really, really cool. I kind of appreciate him being a bit of a knob at first, but I feel like his character really, really grows, and it's cool that he helps her. Reese, he kind of has that hard exterior, and he's actually pretty brave as well. I feel like although he does get given that slippery vibe, making the bargain, etc., on the most part he has a good nature underneath. Tamlin kind of gives you that protector vibes, but then when he was actually under the mountain, he kind of just sat there the whole time and they never really explained why. I don't know if I've missed why he did that. There wasn't really much explanation there. He just never really explained what he tried to do, and then the one time they had moments together, he just went down the sort of saucy route. Wasn't a fan of that. There was no protector vibes coming across then, so I don't know. I feel like the whole character in general was just conflicted, to be honest. Amarantha, horrible, but I did feel like she was kind of actually easy to defeat in the end. It was quite quick, which kind of works, but sometimes can be a little bit like, oh, okay, it's over. It gets you quite stressed when you're reading and you know there's not that many chapters, not that many pages left. That can kind of be a little bit of a hard thing when you're reading, and again, kind of affected the score. But on the whole, I did really enjoy the plot. I actually thought the ending was really good. I think it was quite unexpected how Feyre was bumped off, I guess. I don't really know, can I say it? Unalive for a hot minute, and then they came back to life. So that makes it interesting to see where it goes, what's gonna happen next. So you'll have to keep reading, and you can come back again for the next video to see what I thought on that one. I'm definitely gonna keep doing this with the other books, and I feel like they will get better because I enjoyed those books more than I did the first one. This is the hardest one to talk about. Wish me luck with my 20 minutes of footage I have to edit, which I just rattle on about A Court of Thorn and Roses, which is great because I love the book, but also, do I want to listen to myself talk for that long? Question of the day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this book. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you think any of the same things as me? Do you like this type of content? Are you excited for the next one? Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, I'm Alice. I read books. I talk about books all the time. Throw in a few little vlogs here and there, you know, just to see what I'm doing with my day. So come along for the ride. Click that subscribe button. Let's do this. Let's keep reading. Today's gonna be a good day. And without further ado, until tomorrow, I'll see you in the next one. Bye! What a load of waffles. I like this the whole time. Well, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Oh, my back.